Welcome to the channel, everybody. So today we are going to continue on with our push for Paragon. We are going to be doing that with Act 7.2.3. This one does have 3 possible bosses on it, just like most of Act 7 does. Those bosses are Venom of the Duck, Punisher 2099, and Hitmonkey. We did go with the Hitmonkey option. Let's go ahead and get in here and look at what you're going to be facing for the path, what you're going to be dealing with for nodes, and then what Hitmonkey looks like for that final boss. So right off the bat here, you'll see that we brought in Tigra, Archangel, Hyperion, Hulk, and we brought in Black Widow Deadly Origin for the synergy with Hulk. Honestly, other than that, she really doesn't do anything whatsoever on this entire path. You'll see here right off the bat, the path node is redlining. Once you hit your first bar of power, just slightly over it, you will start instantly power gaining, and your combat rating will be doubled, and then that will continue until you hit 75% of your max power. So right before you hit special 3, and then it's going to instantly drain all your power, and you're going to lose both benefits. So keep in mind that you are limited to SP1s and SP2s in this whole path. Also keep in mind that their specials are unblockable, and their SP2s actually do 50% more damage. So be careful on that. You don't want to take any SP2s from them, and you want to don't try and block any specials whatsoever. Do your best to evade those. So you are looking at Superior Iron Man, Dark Hawk, Havoc, Terrax, Sentinel, and then Namor on this path. And then, like I said, we ended up choosing Hitmonkey as our boss. With Hitmonkey, he has a couple different things that you're going to need to keep in mind. He has immunity to shock, which is another reason why, like I said, Black Widow Deadly Origin really wasn't brought in to do much for us other than be part of a synergy. He also has Life Cycle, which makes him immune to all damage debuffs and has a shield that prevents him from dying. In order to take down that shield, what you need to do is knock him down. Every time you knock him down, it increases the timer that shield is down for, up to the 7th time that you knock him down, which will give you the max amount of time. He also has no hit mercy, so every time he gets knocked down, he actually gains 350 to his crit for 10 seconds. So you got to be careful not to catch a hit from him after he gets right back up. And then both of your heavies are increased as well. What you need to be able to do to take him down is take him down while that shield timer is down. So ideally what you want to do is knock him down 7 times and then set off a special so that you can get in there and take him down. We'll show you how that looks. We'll also show you how I made quite a few mistakes leading up to getting to that. Right off the bat here, we are going to be looking at that Superior Iron Man fight, which he is a mixed bag. I mean, he's one of those champions that more often than not you should be able to just walk through. He doesn't have the greatest kit whatsoever. But with the unblockable specials and the range on those, you're going to have to be really careful. That is where somebody like Tigra, if played properly, comes in really well, because she does have that ability to make all ranged attacks miss as long as you're charging a heavy. So if you can keep your range on that and get into that heavy right away, you can avoid all of that damage and walk straight through him. Obviously, as you can see here, we are taking quite a bit down off of him, and you saw I did it perfectly there, but then turned around and took too many hits right afterwards. So we brought in Hyperion just for the finisher. He's got so much power gain, we can just power up to that SP2 really quickly and kind of get through him, or at least that was the thought process through it. Obviously, we were able to do it, but it took quite a bit out of us, which unfortunately meant that we were wounded going into Doc Ock here, and he was able to actually get us right away, but we had Hulk in the backup, so we are going to go ahead and bring him in there. Like I said, we did take a little bit off of Doc Ock here, but not enough to really hardly be even noticeable. We're going to mess up a bit here with Hulk trying to get into the rhythm, trying to get that right to that right point of where I can do the Hulk juggle off the SP1. But I do mess that up because of that power gain. It goes just a little too far, and then we start getting it right. Now the problem is here we're able to continue getting the Hulk juggle going perfectly up until we miss it one time, and that gives him the opportunity to SP3 and take us out. But if we would have continuously got it done there, we could have easily walked through him. We were really close, and I just missed the fact that I was ready on that SP1 and missed the opportunity. So we did revive Tigra and bring her in here. Again, she's great against him because he does have a ranged attack as well. Should have been able to take on Havoc, but I will tell you, Havoc is a pain. Though I have learned recently that we just pulled Warlock as a 6-star, which if you haven't seen that video, definitely go over and check it out. It was an amazing opening. Got some things that I just couldn't have even imagined all going right in the same video. But go ahead and jump over there and check that out if you haven't seen that already after this one. But we did have to fight Havoc a few extra times here to be able to get him down. Would have been nice to have had that Warlock when we went in here on this one. Probably wouldn't have had to have done quite as much to get through this battle. But we do. We kind of ate ourselves alive a few different times. Havoc can do that to you. You get those plasma charges stacked on you, and he can just eat an entire health bar out of you in no time. We were getting quite a bit done here with Tigra. I don't remember if this is no, this is definitely not the one we finally get him down on. We did have to revive a few different times here. Now this is a good time to point out something that has definitely been brought up in the past, but I want to remind you guys of this. You see me getting through these things in a short period of time, plus the large crystal openings, and you know definitely that I am spending on the game. Okay, I make a lot of mistakes, mostly because a lot of these levels I go into 100% cold. Don't warm up beforehand. Don't try and figure them out too much. I study up a little bit and then just go in, and it's one and done. That will not be the case on Act 7.2.6. I did test that one out a few different times before I went for it. Though one of the test runs is actually where I took her. The other test runs I didn't even make it to Gwen Master. But I want to remind you guys that the reasons why I show you guys the mistakes is not because it's not to brag that I'm spending tons of money on the game. Okay, I've been playing the game for 7 years already, and yes, I've spent the money on the game in the past, but never as much as I do these days. I'm only honestly spending these days for content and to get through these quickly so that I can get the videos out and get on to working on something else. Normally, what I would advise every single time is not to worry about the perfect gameplay. I can recommend 100 YouTubers out there that can give you that perfect gameplay and show you how to walk through these levels on no revives. Now, if you don't have the skill level and you don't have the roster for that, sometimes that's not going to be how realistically it goes. What I do recommend always is to take your time. Don't rush these things. Save up some units, save up some potions, and sit down for a time period and try and go ahead and get through multiple levels in a setting. When you start running low on units and start running low on potions and revives, then take a break, farm them back up, and come back and work on some more progression. Take a few months to get Paragon, Thronebreaker, Uncollected, Cavalier, whatever you're working on. Normally, that's what I did. I took years in between getting even to Uncollected, let alone going from Uncollected to Cavalier. You've seen me go from Cavalier to Thronebreaker in the last couple months, and from Thronebreaker nearly to Paragon already within the last couple months as well. Again, that's because I'm pushing for the channel. I'm pushing for content for you guys. I'm showing you guys that there are ways to do it without having to do it perfectly. The spin side of it normally would not be part of my goal. I would not do that whatsoever the way I do now. I would farm up the revives, potions, and units. Spend a bunch of time in arena, spend a bunch of time in apothecary, spend a bunch of time every place that I could to get every resource that I could, so that I could go through and make mistakes like I'm doing here, and occasionally, even better yet, not even make the mistakes. Go through and try that first champion or two. If you lose your entire team on the first champion or two, back out, rethink your team, try it again. If it happens again, you're not ready. Go ahead and work on leveling some people up. Or if you do find a team that works or a path that works, and you're able to get through that first one off of, one or two champions, and that second one off of one or two champions, make sure you've got a decent amount of units. Make sure you got a decent amount of revives, a decent amount of potions, and push for it. Don't worry about perfect. Worry about trying to make sure that you've got decent counters and that you are aware of what you're facing, aware of what the nodes are, and aware that you have the resources you need to get through. If you get to that final boss and you run out of resources, leave your guys tied up for a day or two, go farm up a few more, come back in, take him down, especially if you've already got him over 50% of the way down or more. Obviously some of these bosses, that last 1 or 2% can be a major factor for things, but it doesn't always have to be one of those things that, I can't get him, back out and try again another time. If you've got a good rhythm going, but you've just ran out of resources because the path was a little resource intensive, go for it. Go get some more resources, come back in. Okay, guys? But understand, it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to work out exactly every time. That's why we do the videos the way we do. Yes, there's time periods that I play better than others. There's time periods where, yes, the factor of the immense roster that I have comes into a factor. There are so many different things. But you'll see here, even going up against Hitmonkey here, I'm just throwing everybody against him to figure out who's going to be able to get most of that damage down so that I can start getting to that point of worrying about the knockdowns. I'm even throwing Black Widow Deadly Origin in here, knowing very good and well that her biggest thing, without being able to shock him, it limits her ability to build up the damage. And so there is more opportunity for him to end up just taking me down, as you're going to watch him do right here. And even once we do get him down and we get him down to that last percentage of health, we're going to still make mistakes, because what are we going to do? We're going to forget what the node is. And I'm not going to be worrying about knocking him down enough. And so you're going to watch me go through a bunch of deaths. We're going to speed that up even more than what we normally do, because there's absolutely no reason to watch me just go in, die, go in, die, go in, die. But other than to show you guys what I promised you I always would. I'm never going to hide anything from you. I'm going to show you the mistakes I make, and then I'm going to show you how it worked and how it actually comes out properly. We do end up taking him down with Tigra. 100%, she does the work. She does what we need her to, and she's able to get us all the way through this. We do quite a bit of damage here with Hulk, which gets us that opening for Tigra. We, again, more often than not here, we could have probably done a little better on this if we would have healed up each of the champions when we revived the whole team, so that we could have done bigger chunks in between each fight. Going in with limited health against a boss of this size, especially one like Hitmonkey, they can easily just go from taking a beating to taking you out, was being a little cocky and literally cost us more than what we needed to. But you can see here we're getting him down to about 5% health. This is where we needed to start working on knocking him down. And this is where we screwed up. Because we did, for a few moments, we were working on it with Tigra. You can see it going in over and over again. She is the proper counter here. Hulk is not bad either. Hulk didn't even get a moment. I've seen people recommend Archangel. He is great on that heavy if you can get the knockdowns. Obviously, we're not doing good at parrying whatsoever. As a matter of fact, you rarely see the word parry pop up on this screen during any of this. But what the final strategy that we are going to go with here is we are going to actually just play it easy. We're going to slow down. We're going to take our time. We're going to build up those knockdowns. We're going to stay out of his way each time. You're going to see a few more parries show up. Not that they do us a lot of good, but we're going to build up to that SP3. When we get to that SP3, we're already going to have him have been knocked down more than 7 times. So we know when we knock him down that as soon as we hit that SP3, he's done for. You can see here we have already given him back some of his health, but there you go. Knockdown, instant SP3, and that's all she wrote, folks. That is 100% clearing that level. You saw the mistakes. You saw the units spent. Well, it was really posting the revives because I had plenty of them. But at the same time, the more of those I eat up, the closer I'm going to get to spending units instead of potions and revives. Obviously, I can only farm so many in such a short time period and still get the videos out. But this is why I'm talking to you guys about what you guys should be doing, not what I'm doing. I show you guys these because of the fact that that way you guys can see that it can be done no matter if you're doing it as well as a Seaton, as a Prof Hoff, as a KT1, as a Katie Candy, any number of the Karate Mike, Dork to Give You Dave, all the guys and gals that I've admired for years and that have helped me to learn the game and to teach it to alliance mates. These guys are 100% great. They know what they're doing. They are better than I am 100%, and they're probably better than a lot of us out there. But I want to remind you guys that we just get through it. We make sure that we have our resources stocked up. We make sure that we set up our time. We make sure that we are focused on what we're working on, and we get through the level. And if we've got anything left at the end of the level, we get through the next one. And speaking of the next one, I will see you guys back for the next one tomorrow. And I hope you guys are progressing on your way. Peace out.